So, it's been 7 very close rounds and the score is once again tied up. In the later rounds, we'll be comparing the gaming performance, but before we get to that, in this round we'll be taking an in-depth look at the media playback features. So once again, hold on to your hats and get ready for some heavyweight game console action. It's LP from Techno Buffalo, and welcome to the next installment of the Console Wars. In this round, I'm going to try to cover all the essentials relating to the media playback properties, from supported video formats to media server streaming and media center features. And okay, for the past 7 rounds, it's really been the pink elephant in the room, and there's probably about 1,000 comments about this in this series of videos. What about Blu-ray? And let's get to that first. As you guys probably know, Blu-ray and HD DVD duked it out a couple of years ago, and the defeat of HD DVD meant for the standardization of a single high-definition media. The Xbox 360's HD DVD add-on sold initially for a ridiculous $180. But anyways, I'm not going to be digging up a dead format for this comparison, so you can consider HD DVD gone and forgotten. I've seen and read a lot of comments saying, who needs Blu-ray when upscale DVDs are just as good? Well, this ain't exactly true. The truth is, if you have a decent 1080p TV set bigger than 32 inches, the difference is significant, even compared to the best upscale DVDs. Upscaling is a process that mathematically matches the pixel count of the DVD signal to the physical pixel count of your TV. Rather than just stretching the pixel aspect ratio, the signal is recalculated to suit the native resolution of your TV set, which results in a nice and clear signal that adds to the resolution artificially. So the amount of pixels in the source content is not magically transformed into HD, it's only the signal. But I do admit some upscale DVDs look great, but the majority of DVDs look nothing like HD, especially if you're watching on a TV set larger than 40 inches. To brush up on the basics of high definition, most of your DVDs are in 480p or 576p. To make an example, your NTSC DVDs usually have a resolution of 720 by 480 pixels. The resolution is the same for your old 4:3 aspect ratio TV, meaning that the pixels are stretched and resized to achieve widescreen. Now, with high definition 1080p content, the resolution is 1920 by 1080 pixels, which is the exact same pixel aspect ratio of your full HD TV set. Now, this means that there's no scaling, no stretching, and every stored pixel on the media will be displayed natively at your TV set. While standard definition DVDs have 350,000 pixels, a Blu-ray with a 1080p signal has over 2 million pixels, which is exactly 6 times the amount you find on your standard definition 480p DVD. Not only is the sharpness improved in 6 times the resolution, every pixel adds the possibility of more colors and shades of gray, translating into more color depth. The amount of colors on the media cannot even be produced on your average LCD TV. But if you've had the opportunity of seeing a Blu-ray playing on an OLED screen, you've probably seen its potential. Thankfully, Sony was kind enough to send me a 40-inch prototype OLED screen for this particular review, so I know what I'm talking about. Okay, that was a blatant lie. I wish they did though. Picture quality is one thing, but motion processing is another. This can get a bit tricky, so put on your smart caps. Most theatrical movie releases have a frame rate of 24 frames per second, which is directly incompatible with your standard TV with a refresh rate of 50 or 60 Hz. The frame rate of the video source has to match or has to be equally dividable with the refresh rate of your TV. So up until recently, the native frame rate of film has needed to be converted for video to suit the refresh rates of old TVs. To make an example, for NTSC DVDs, 24 frame per second content is converted to 30 frames per second with a process called 3:2 pull down, where an individual film frame is converted to 2 and 3 alternating fields of video that run sequentially, and it results in an unnatural jittering in the motion. So if you're watching a DVD or Blu-ray for that matter off a TV that only supports 50 or 60 Hz, it will have some slight jittering in the motion. This is even more noticeable on high definition content. But Blu-ray brings an excellent solution to the issue that has plagued video content since the days of Betamax. Blu-ray adds native 24 frames per second support for newer TV sets that are capable of 24 Hz playback. 24 frames per second playback offers the unadulterated, smooth and constant motion of film. But before you run off and buy a TV with a 24 Hz support, I recommend getting a TV that supports a multiple of 24 Hz. Because of the different technology, 24 Hz on a TV set can flicker a bit. So what you want to do is get the highest multiple of 24 as possible. If your wallet can handle it, get yourself a TV capable of 120 Hz playback. The signal will be converted in a process called 5:5 cadence, where every individual film frame is shown 5 times, which results in near perfect motion. So if you still have the smarts to say upscale DVDs are just as good as Blu-ray, I'm gonna personally come down and whip your ass. I'm kidding, of course. You truly need to be a keen-eyed videophile to take notice of these issues, but once you do, there's no going back. Blu-ray is also the obvious choice for audiophiles as well. It comes with support for the high-definition audio formats, although currently the amplifiers capable of these formats are more expensive than the PS3 itself. And what benefits does Blu-ray bring to gaming? As I mentioned in the GPU round, the extra space equates to less need for compression of textures and other content. So a game like Final Fantasy XIII will be on a single Blu-ray, while on the Xbox 360, it will require 4 DVDs. So no need for swapping discs on PS3. Anyways, it's quite clear that Sony has the edge on disc media format with Blu-ray. Even if the PS3 would lose the current console war, Sony has still won a war which will echo well beyond the current generation of game consoles. Much like the install base of PS2 helped the DVD succeed, the install base of the PS3 has already established Blu-ray as the standard format of high-definition content. It's been up to debate whether digital distribution will compete with Blu-ray. My personal opinion is that while digital distribution will become increasingly popular for renting movies, I don't see myself filling up my hard drives with HD content. I currently own about 800 DVDs and about 50 Blu-rays, and I'm not looking to buy 10 terabytes of storage to replace my physical discs. It's not gonna happen. I enjoy having a physical disc, I enjoy the cover art, and I even enjoy the box it comes in. I guess it's that new plastic smell, who knows. Both the PS3 and Xbox 360 have movie renting services that work great. But because the content is streamed from online, the movies are compressed to quite an extent, and you can notice some compression issues in high action scenes. But I'm guessing the average consumer is willing to pay the same money for the slightly compressed content. Me, I'll probably physically walk a couple of blocks to rent a Blu-ray, which I can get for the same price as the streamed and compressed high-definition movie.
This is Vegas.
2 nights we'll never forget.
But as I mentioned, I have about 800 DVDs and I have no intention of replacing them with Blu-ray discs. So decent upscaling is a benefit. Both systems have scalers capable of upscaling to 1080p, and I can say that both systems do an excellent job. But the PS3 takes the slight edge here as well, with better detail and color separation. That sets it apart from the DVD upscaling on the Xbox 360. The one media format personally for me that the game consoles have replaced are CDs. These days I mostly play my music off my PS3. It's just so easy and fast. And here's where the PS3 is simply put excellent. It's a miracle worker when it comes to ripping CDs. It can rip even copy-protected CDs with amazing speed. It only takes a couple of minutes to rip an entire CD, and you can even choose the preferred format and bitrate. CD ripping is also possible on the Xbox 360, but it pales in comparison against the speed and features of the PS3. From the standpoint of functionality, accessing media content on the PS3 is extremely fast, and this was one of the reasons why PS3 took round 6. It sometimes just takes too much time to get the content on the Xbox 360.
Madness. This is Sparta!
I also have to give the PS3 a small compliment for music visualizations, which are subtle and easy on the eyes. Which I can't say about the Xbox 360's almost epilepsy-inducing graphics. But a major benefit to the Xbox 360's music playback is the fact that you can play music in-game in every game. The PS3 and Xbox 360 can both be considered media center devices. You can store and watch content from your device's hard drive, but since the hard drives on the devices are quite limited, it's possible to extend your digital media library and stream content, for example, off your PC. I personally use Nero Media Home with my PS3 and Windows Media Center with my Xbox 360. Streaming content using Nero is pretty straightforward. When your media server is enabled on your PC, an icon will appear automatically on the PS3, and you can access the content using the PS3's own interface. I use this feature a lot and it works mostly without a hitch.
Give me an explanation as to why.
While the media center functionalities of the PS3 are very good, the Xbox 360 has a major benefit, which is this. As you can see, the Xbox 360 supports the full Windows Media Center experience, and it works great with Windows 7. The interface is slick, stable, and it overall works great. Navigation-wise, it's almost perfect. Both the Xbox 360 and PS3 are capable media streaming devices, but the Xbox 360 may have the slight edge with the slick and streamlined Media Center application. Media Center capabilities go hand in hand with format support, and thankfully the PS3 and Xbox 360 both have extensive format support. Both systems can handle H.264 and DivX, and the most common formats, but it seems that the PS3 can handle the formats a bit faster. When playing back some formats, there's a subtle lag when rewinding on the Xbox 360. Slightly disappointing with both systems is the fact that files with MKV wrappers are not supported. DivX and XVID are probably the most common formats you can find online, but when you download content from online, avoid using illegal torrents, because if you do
what you want, cause a pirate is free. You are a pirate. Yar har, fiddle-dee-dee. Being a pirate is a recipe. Do what you want, cause a pirate is free. You are a pirate.
And that's all I have to say about that. If you are the type to store pictures on your console, the PS3 offers interesting ways of looking at your snapshots. Here's some shots I took with my cell phone the other day. And as you can see, there's some very cool ways of looking at your pictures on the PS3. You can look at pictures on your Xbox 360, but it's not as elegant an interface as on the PS3. If you haven't been living under a rock, you've probably heard about 3D coming to game consoles. At CES 2010, pretty much every TV manufacturer launched or announced their new TV models with 3D support. The PS3 is backed up by Nvidia, a company which already came out with 3D vision technology about a year ago. I'm not sure if the PS3 will use this existing technology, but in relation to media playback, Blu-ray gives a major benefit to 3D, as Blu-ray 3D will become the standard format for 3D movies, and the PS3 supports this out of the box. So the PS3 may have a slight head start on 3D, but I have a feeling that by the time 3D hits the mass market, there will be a PlayStation 4 and there will be an Xbox 720. Not to mention the Nintendo Wii 3D. But definitely the PS3 is more future-proof when it comes to media playback. This installment is coming to an end, and there's probably no surprises who takes this round. The media center capabilities of the Xbox 360 are excellent. It makes up for some shortcomings in functionality and speed of use. But as an overall media playback device, the PS3 takes the Xbox 360, mostly thanks to, you guessed it, Blu-ray. The Xbox 360 has good DVD upscaling, but of course, there's really no competition in video playback. The PS3 supports more formats and has better overall media playback functionality. The PS3 is up 1 point, and in the next round we'll be comparing the best looking multi-platform games on both consoles. Stay tuned for the next installment of the Console Wars. LP signing out.